Oh no, I'm just like, wow, how do you know so much about random?
This guy's got like shimmery glue down by.
The Connecticut State House, he designed the White Capitol Dome in Washington, D.C., but here on John Hancock's grazing land stands his masterpiece. Phones, the offices to our governor are still there. Free tours Monday through Friday. History going back before the Civil War. But he completely
pretty seriously in the city as well. In fact, we take it so seriously that there is a law. There is an actual Boston law on the books that prohibits you from putting tomatoes in New England clam chowder. I'm serious, that's a real law, you can look it up. If you do that, it makes it too much like Manhattan clam chowder, which is gross. Be happening in front of that building. It's blue scaffolding, one of the most historic buildings in American history. It's called Faneuil Hall. Dates back to 1742, and Faneuil Hall is the actual building we would refer to as being the cradle of liberty in Boston, because it's essentially the birthplace of the American Revolution. The second floor of Faneuil Hall is a big meeting hall. It's where we held all these important town meetings encouraging independence of Great Britain before the Revolutionary War. So you can get to doing a whole bunch of work on the building, but you can go in and check out the inside. But State House towards the left here. I'll tell you a little bit more about this building in just a moment. But if anyone was looking,
Does it sound familiar to anybody? It's usually an age thing. Once you're like over your 60s, like me, you'll be able to do that. The only people I can tell you that graduated from Corporation, Gillette, Raytheon, and Polaroid. Does anybody on board know that when the cities in Greater Boston? We just passed Suffolk and Suffolk Law. We'll talk about MIT and Harvard, Berkeley School of Music, gyms. So now we tell people it happened right under the balcony over there. The Boston Massacre, March 5th, 1770, was not a massacre at all. It's killing 5. At the time, it was known as the incident on King Street. Sam Adams looked at this situation in 1770, thought it was a great opportunity to fuel the revolution. So he had Paul Revere create a newspaper called the Boston Massacre. It showed 9 evil crowd of Bostonians killing 5. And it did exactly what Sam Adams thought it would do. People know the massacre, the flame that ignited the American Revolution. The John F. Kennedy building. In 1876, other than Puritanism. No joke. If you didn't follow strict Puritan law, you tried Quakerism, Lutheranism, you'd be hanged. Tortured in public, Puss burying ground in Boston was built. The same year, 1630, the King's Chapel, oldest burying ground in Boston. The gold trim building on your left is the famous Parkeros Hotel. It's the oldest continuous running hotel in America. It's where they invented the Boston cream pie and the Parker House dinner rolls. This is number 1 on my fun list that I didn't mention.
He likes me too.